Here's a little secret. You do not need a super complicated funnel with 15 different platforms in order to start making consistent sales in your business. You can actually build most of it, if not all of it, entirely within Flodesk. And that's what I'm going to walk you through in today's video. Hi, I'm Jordan, and I help moms build businesses that actually fit their real life and the season of motherhood that they're in, using simple email funnels that don't require constant launching or showing up online every single day. This video and this strategy is perfect if you're just starting out your business, or if you're trying to scale your business and you're feeling stuck in that constant cycle of creating new content, launching over and over again, and you know that you need more consistency and how you show up and sell to your audience without trading more of your time to do it. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the belief shift that you have to understand in order to make funnels not feel so complicated or overwhelming, and the actual evergreen structure that you can use today to start building your own funnel. This is the strategy that I use personally in my business and that I have used for 6+ years now in dozens of other businesses, for both service-based businesses and digital products. So the first thing that you really need to understand is a really simple but important belief shift about funnels. And that is that funnels do not need to be complicated to work. In fact, I would argue that a simple funnel that's built the right way with the right foundation and the right strategy is going to not just be more sustainable for your business, it's going to allow you to scale a whole lot easier. I know that not everyone geeks out about the tech like I do. I understand that building your first funnel can feel really overwhelming, both because of the strategy and the implementation part of it. But what I want you to understand is that a funnel is simply a system of serving your people well and leading them into a sale on autopilot. That is what a funnel should be doing in your business. And when you can build it with the right strategy, you don't need it to be complicated. You can have a super simple system in your business and you can pretty much do it all within Flodesk. I think a lot of moms and a lot of business owners in general overcomplicate and overthink what's involved with building a funnel because of everything that we see online. And the thing is, there are a lot of different ways to build a funnel. There's a lot of different ways to have opt-ins, different types of emails to write, different offers to sell. But what I really want you to believe and walk away from this video believing is that the simpler your funnel, the more sustainable and scalable it's going to be in your business. And that's a huge reason of why I love Flodesk and why I'm going to walk you through that platform specifically in this video, is because when you can do all of that, if not most of that in one platform, it's going to make it so much easier for you to build and maintain because there's less moving parts. Another reason I really love Flodesk, and I'm walking you through that platform specifically today, is because I think Flodesk is really great for both beginners and people scaling their businesses. It has a really clean, minimal layout. It's not clunky to use, and it still has really advanced features like workflows, segmentations, all the things that you're going to need to build your first funnel. Flodesk is what I use in my own business for my funnels. It's what I teach in my program, Your First Funnel, and it's what I build for almost all of my clients. And you're going to see in this video why it's so easy to build on. But if you want to try Flodesk for yourself, you can use my partner code Jordan Jones to get 25% off your first year, or you can head down to the description and click my link there. Now, a simple funnel isn't just easier to set up. Having a simple and repeatable funnel is what's actually going to allow you to stick with something long term. Tell me if you've ever fallen into this trap. I used to have the belief that growth came from having more ideas, more offers, and more launches. And honestly, that was a fast track to burning myself out, especially as a business owner who's a mom and works less than 15 hours a week. When the reality is that kind of long-term success usually comes from doing these same simple, oftentimes boring things over and over again and just doing them really well. This is something I actually learned from watching some of Alex Hormozi's videos, and it really challenged me and struck me because I have built a lot of funnels. I've seen a lot of ways that businesses can grow. And so for a long time, I would fall into the trap of thinking, oh, if I only launched this way, or if I only changed my offer to look like this, or if I only posted this kind of reel, then my business will grow. And what's really great about funnels is that funnels work because they force you to stop reinventing your business every single month and start getting consistent at selling the thing that you do best. Once I decided to build a simple funnel and actually stick it out, everything got so much easier. Not because it was some big, flashy, complicated thing, but because it was repeatable. And honestly, because funnels, while they do take upfront work, they don't take a lot to maintain or grow them. So whether you have one person in your funnel or 100 people in your funnel, I wasn't doing any more work at serving those leads or selling to them. And once you believe and commit to this idea of having a simpler, more sustainable growth tool in your business, the structure of your funnel is really going to matter. So let me walk you through how I would set up an evergreen funnel using Flodesk. So without going into a super in-depth training on funnels here, the top of your funnel is your opt-in. That's where someone is joining your email list. And so in Flodesk, this would look like your form. So someone will fill out your form for your top of funnel opt-in, and they will be added not just to your Flodesk account, but to a specific segment. And the segment is how you're going to track the people that opt in to that freebie and how you're going to trigger your funnel, or in Flodesk, we're going to trigger a workflow. Now, what you choose and create as your freebie is so important. I think people go and create freebies willy-nilly, and then they're wondering why their funnels don't convert. And that's because the freebie you pick needs to make sense for the offer that you're going to sell them into in your workflow or in your automated email series, right? I talk about this concept of choosing the right freebie way more in depth in my funnel building challenge. It's a free challenge where I walk you through the simple shifts and a proven framework to launch your first funnel in 90 days with more clarity, with more confidence, and more time for the things that matter most, the things that you started your business for in the first place. So if you want to take the free challenge, you can go to jordanjones.co/challenge, and that'll help you get a lot more clarity on what to choose as your freebie. And so the simple structure in Flodesk is going to be using the forms to get someone into your opt-in. That's the top of funnel. And then the second stage of your funnel, the consideration phase, is where you're doing all of the nurturing and selling. And all of that is going to happen in the workflows tab of your Flodesk account. And your workflow essentially is an evergreen automated email campaign. Now, different email platforms use sequences, workflows, campaigns. They use a lot of different terminologies. But in Flodesk, it's called a workflow. And so for us in our funnels, we're going to trigger it when someone opts in to the relevant freebie. And so that's where that segment that you choose matters. I'm a big fan of having specific kind of naming structure and color scheme in your Flodesk account. So this might look like a naming structure, like every freebie is freebie in all caps, name of the freebie, or opt-in, name of the opt-in. And so that way, when you're looking in your Flodesk account, you can have a really clear picture of who's opting in to which freebies and which automated sales sequences or workflows those freebies should trigger based on the offer that you want to lead them to. Okay, so that's kind of a general overview of funnels and how you'd build them in Flodesk. So now I want to show you a little screen share of how you can build your first funnel. Okay, so the main part of your funnel in Flodesk is going to live in this workflow section. But in order for us to trigger a workflow, we need to first set up a form. So head to the Forms tab at the top, click New Form, and you'll see there's a ton of templates here that you can use. Click any one that works. If you want to embed it on your site, then you'll want to click the inline options. If you want it to be a pop-up, click that. The easiest way to get started is to use one of the full page options, because then you'll just have the link that you can send in any emails, on any social media, DMs, automations, however you want to utilize that. The full page makes that the easiest, and it's really quick to set up. So you're just going to choose a template. When you click the template you want, this is where you're going to choose the segment. Now remember, this segment is what's going to trigger your workflow, and it's what's going to allow you to keep your email list organized. And so I recommend having a certain naming structure, like I said before. So this might be freebie : name of your freebie. So that way anyone that enters this segment has opted in to the specific freebie, and you know that that freebie triggers a specific workflow. So I'm just going to click this one for an example. Flodesk makes it really easy to edit freebies. So you'll just upload an image here. I'll just use one of my brand images, and then just change the title and the text here to be relevant to the freebie that you want the person to opt into. When you click on the different sections, you'll be able to change the font, the colors, the size. You can change the brand colors to match your brand better. And then you can change the settings. You can have a double opt-in. I do keep that off. I also turn off notify me when subscribers opt in. If you want to be notified and do some personal follow-up, you can totally do that there. And then you want to add your Meta Pixel ID here if you're running any kind of paid traffic or just to gather that data for paid ads in the future. I also prefer to change the URL of the link just so it looks nicer. And so you can do title of freebie, obviously change that to be the title of your freebie. And then when you share it, it'll be a lot easier to share. and then go to link preview. And this is where you'll upload an image and you'll change the title and description. So when you text this to someone or you send this in a message and they pull it up on their phone, it's not just going to show the default Flodesk information. You want it to show a graphic relevant to your freebie. So for example, I just chose a random one that wasn't optimized for this right now, but you would choose an image that would make the most sense here and then change the title and description. So when someone shares it, they know exactly what it is. Once you do all of that, the last thing that you want to do in your form is head to the thank you section. You can just use any of these messages or type a custom message like, thank you so much. Check your email for more details. If you know how, I prefer to have a redirect URL to a custom thank you page. This is especially great as you start getting into upsells and things like that, or tripwire funnels. That gets a little bit more complicated, but I just love sending someone to my website afterwards. So I'll have a basic page on my website that is an opt-in thank you page. And then if you grab the URL for that, you just want to toggle this on here, and then you'd put the opt-in thank you page here. So when someone submits the form, they'll get taken to that thank you page on your site. Maybe it has a little video or a fun GIF or a way to follow you, just another next step. It's definitely not necessary, but I do think it adds a different level of connection and service. So that's where you would do that there. Now, once your form is created, we are going to go and start your workflow. So you head to the workflow section, and we are going to click new workflow and start from scratch. I do recommend using the same kind of naming structures. So we can write opt-in freebie name so you know that this is the workflow triggered from a specific freebie. Okay, so that trigger is technically someone opting into that form. So in Flodesk, we can either trigger it from the person being added to the segment if the only way they're getting added to that segment for the freebie is the form, or you can choose subscribe through that form. So you're either going to find the form here, make sure you rename the forms so you know which one it is, or you can click added to segment, and you can see I just clicked the same segment that I used for that form. So when someone opts into that form, they're going to be added to this freebie segment, and then the segment will trigger this workflow. Now, everything else that's going to happen that's automated, for the most part, can happen right in Flodesk. So the confirmation emails, the segmenting, the sales emails can all happen in here. So the first thing you can do is send an email, and this email will just be the delivery email. And so in this email, we'll write, thank you so much for opting in. Here's your freebie. This is where you're going to send them the freebie. And you can also hint that you're going to be sending more resources or whatever else is going to happen in your funnel. And then you can do a time delay. You can wait 1 day. Now, if your freebie had any kind of offer or tripwire, you can check if they've purchased that, or if you only want to sell to people who haven't purchased a certain offer yet, what you want to do is segment out any of those customers before each step. So you're going to have your delay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to have a yes, no branch. And the condition is going to be, has someone already purchased the offer that you want to sell at the end? For me, that filter will be, have they purchased my program, my signature offer? And if they have, they're going to exit the workflow. If not, then they'll get email number 2. And so this is going to continue on for however long your email sequence is. Another thing that I like to do, if you're like me and you've ever been in someone's email series, and then you actually buy the offer and you keep getting emailed by the offer, for me, that's really frustrating because it's a really simple way to filter people out. One, the segments should filter people out here. So that's why I always have these if-then statements before any sales emails. But also, I personally do not want to be sending my weekly newsletters to people who are getting sales emails from me or they're in a sales series. So what I'll do is at the beginning, I'll actually add an action step where I add them to a segment called in sales sequence. So when I send my weekly newsletters or any one-off emails, I can exclude the segment in sales sequence. So anyone that's getting sales emails from me isn't also getting other emails at the same time. And then you just need to remember, whenever they go to exit this workflow, you're going to remove them from that segment. And you'd click remove subscribers from segment here. So then before they exit, you're going to remove them from that segment. And so that's how you build a really simple workflow and funnel in Flodesk. Pretty much just repeating these steps over and over of sending the email, having a delay, checking to see if they've made the purchase that you want them to or that conversion. And if not, they'll continue on in the sales sequence. Now, if you have no idea what to write in these emails, or you don't want to just overthink and spend way too much time drafting your own emails, I do have my entire nurture sequence email templates available. So you can just plug and play write all your emails in a day or even an hour. There's 9 Mad Lib style templates in there with swipe copy examples for both service-based and digital product businesses. So if you want to grab those, you can head to jordanjones.co/nurture and you can grab all of my email templates so you can just plug and play everything right into your account. And once you're all done creating your workflow and drafting all your emails, just make sure to click publish. It'll stay in draft mode until you click publish. So it's really, really important that you click publish here. And then when you do, your funnel is all ready to go. So now that you know how to build a simple funnel structure in Flodesk, you can go start building your very first funnel. And if you want to just copy and paste the template that we just built together, I actually put it into a free template for you. Another reason that I love Flodesk, because you can just share templates. It makes my job teaching funnels and email strategy so much easier, and it makes it so much simpler and quicker for you to be able to implement in your business. So if you want to grab that template, you can head to jordanjones.co/free workflow. I hope that that walkthrough was helpful for you. And I hope that you're walking away with a confidence and belief that funnels don't need to be complicated to work, and that having a funnel in your business is going to allow you to be more consistent without being online constantly and serve and sell to your audience in a really natural way that's going to drive more consistent sales and income in your business. Don't forget to grab that free workflow if it would be helpful for you, and be sure to subscribe so you can watch the next video on how to build a sales funnel that actually works and the 3 mistakes that you're going to want to avoid.